Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to our January Career Series at the CNS Career Center. I am Erin Charwati, and I am one of the career advisors here in the College of Natural Sciences Career Center. So today we are going to talk about internship hunting. I do realize that it's not as, being on Zoom is not always as intuitively interactive as it can be, so I really encourage you to ask questions, jump in if you have anything. I want to make sure I'm answering all the questions that you all have as we're going forward. Okay, and I also encourage you to put any questions you have about internships in the chat. You can unmute yourself and ask out loud. If you don't feel comfortable putting them in the chat to everyone, you can just put it to me. I am happy to answer any questions that you have. And as we get started, I would like to know if I could just have a couple people put in the chat. Where have you found internships, or where do you think you can find internships? Just one or two places that you have heard of that you can find an internship. Or if you've had one in the past.
I find a lot of them on Handshake. People message me, and I actually just found like a really interesting one with CVS Health that I'll probably apply to today. So excited about that.
Awesome. Yeah, Handshake is a great place to start. So just like I'm going to show you some other, I'm going to walk you through how to do that in Handshake, as well as explaining some other places. So that one's great. Yeah. Besides Handshake, anyone have any other suggestions on where to find an internship, or where you have found one in the past? Career fairs? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. We have at least 6 career fairs coming up this spring that will help you with, that will have internships available. And Indeed, thank you, Julia. Yes, Indeed's a great place. We're going to talk about that as well to find internships. So thank you for those suggestions. Okay, so just really quickly to introduce ourselves for those of you who have not been to the CNS Career Center, we have a lot of services available. If you have your phone, you can just click on that QR code to go directly to our website. We have individual advising appointments with career advisors such as myself. We also have walk-ins with career peer advisors who are students who are trained to work to show you how to do your resume and cover letter. In the fall, we had 11 to 5. I'm hoping we have the same hours in the spring, but those may change, and you don't need an appointment for those. A lot of great resources on our website as well. I'll go over a little bit later, but I will send this PowerPoint presentation to everyone too, so you'll have it. And those internship, co-op, and research opportunities at the bottom, I will go through in more detail in just a minute. We also have a career development handbook. It is on our website on the career advising page. If you prefer a paper copy, I know this is hard to see because my background is blurred. We have paper copies of this in our office. You can just stop in and ask, and we're happy to give those to you too. Lots of great resources there. Okay, so we are here today to talk about internships and how to find an internship. So, obviously we know you're here getting your degree. It's really important academically to do well and to learn your major information, but why do we need an internship? There's a couple reasons to get an internship. One, this one here, when employers are faced with 2 students who have almost identical academic experiences, for looking for a full-time position, they are much more likely to go with someone who has an internship experience. Reason for that is the person who's done an internship has really tested their interest in the field. They know what it's like to be there. They've shown they have a long-term interest, and they really understand what it's like to work in that field again. 65% of UMass students have an internship or do research with faculty before graduation. And that stat's about 2 years old. So it may be, I think it's probably getting, well, normally I would say I think it's higher, but obviously with COVID and so many things being canceled over the last 2 years, it may not be right now. But really important, if there's a way to get an internship, it's really helpful for you long-term to get a job, and also really to make sure you are really going towards the career field that you are actually interested in. So what is an internship? Essentially, an internship is a field of experiential learning, or basically learning by experience, or another way to think about it is a career-related experience at an organization. So there are lots of different ways you can get an internship, or different formats an internship can take, I should say. So an internship can be paid or unpaid. You can do an internship during the semester, during this summer, during winter break. You can do it anywhere. You can do it here in Amherst. You can do it in your hometown, anywhere in the country, even internationally. You could also receive academic credit for an internship. There are more details on our website, but essentially, depending on the major, there are a few departments that differ a little bit. You can actually get up to 18 credit hours towards graduation and towards your major in internship credits. Now, some departments also combine this with other experiential learning activities. So for example, if you are a psychology major, those 18 hours of credits are combined with internships, being a TA, being a research assistant. So you'll always want to check with your department advisor and check with us to make sure. But it is a great way to get that experience and also get credit towards your graduation for getting that credit. We have lots of details on our website over on the right-hand side of the screen. You can see if you go to our website, and click on job internship and co-op searching, down at the bottom, there's details on internships for co-op and credit. Okay, so Emma has a great question. When employers are looking at candidates, how does a candidate with an internship compare to a candidate with experience through a paid job in the field? Honestly, they're similar. So I'm talking about getting an internship as getting that experiential learning. A paid job in the field is just as valuable. So really the important thing is just getting that experience in general. In fact, one thing I'm going to talk about, this is actually a great segue to my next slide, is that an internship, hold on, moving forward here with the chat's open. You don't always have to get, doesn't have to be an officially called internship. The really important part is experiential learning, or learning through your career field, through learning about your career field through experience. So an internship is obviously a great way to do that. A paid job in the field, like Emma just mentioned, is another great way to do that. Doing community service in your field, if you are pre-med, you know that volunteering at a hospital or shadowing physicians can be really good experience. Even working in student organizations that are related to your field, that can be really good. The important thing is an employer wants to see that you're working on your skills, that you're testing your interest in the field, and that you really have a good understanding of what it means to have a career in that area. So you don't want to graduate with your degree and get a full-time job and all of a sudden say, wow, this is not at all what I was expecting. I'm not really happy here and I don't think I want to do this for the next 10, 20 years, whatever. So, and that happens, right? We all people change jobs quite a bit, and that is okay. So don't feel as if, don't pressure yourself there, but getting any sort of experience to increase those skills can be really valuable. So it does not officially have to have that title of internship. A summer job in the field, a school year job in the field, something that can show you are in the field and you've tested that is really important. Independent projects in your, whether they're literally independent, something you set up yourself or through a course or one of your classes, can also be really really valuable. Recruiters are really excited to see what you can do when you take that initiative. And those projects seem to be really unique and interesting, and again, can show you went out of your comfort zone and really tested yourself to do that. Okay, another way to get experience, if we also know too, obviously, COVID has affected so much of all of our lives the last 2 years, and internships and co-ops and research being canceled are a big part of that. So one of the ways that if you have not been able to get something in the past and you're trying to get experience to get one in the future is to teach yourself some skills and work on that. Over winter break, I know there's only a couple weeks left, but this can be a really good time to do that as well. If LinkedIn Learning is a software program that is obviously affiliated with LinkedIn that UMass has purchased, so it is free for all students and faculty and staff here at UMass. What this allows you to do is increase your skills in different areas. You could do this through business courses, you can do this through computer science courses. They are not necessarily certificates that you will get you don't actually get anything credit on your transcript or any academic credits. But if you go to this website, umass.edu/IT/LinkedIn-learning, or just Google UMass LinkedIn Learning, you can see there are a lot of different things that you can teach yourself that you could then put on your resume. So for example, if you're a math major and you're interested in learning Python, I just put Python into LinkedIn Learning and came up with over 5,000 classes ranging in from, I think the one below was 45 minutes to 21 hours or 29 hours. So these are things you can teach yourself too that can also get you skills towards getting that internship. All right, so let's talk about what employers want. When you are applying for internships, when we meet with employers, we say every year, what do you want to see from students? And this is what employers have said nationwide through the National Association of Colleges Employers, which is the group that career advisors belong to. Year after year, they tell us they want to see these 10 things. Most important things are your analytical qualitative skills, your work ethic, which I think have become really, really important too over the past 2 years of everything being remote. They want to know that you can work independently and on your own when there's not someone breathing over your shoulder. Your ability to work as a team, and your problem solving skills. So when you're working on your resume and you're thinking about how to apply to these internships, make sure these things are on your resume. So this does not necessarily have to be something that, obviously ideally if it's career related or major related, that's great. But think about other things that you've done on your, and we have separate resume workshops that can help you put this on your resume. But when you're looking for those internships, think about ways that you can talk about your ability to work as a team. If you work at Starbucks, that work ethic of working 10-hour shifts, your ability to work as a team and balance each other out and be flexible, right? Your communication skills, possibly with difficult customers. So as you're applying for these internships and getting ready to interview, just think about these skills that you have and what employers will want to see. Okay, another way to look for internships is on our Thursday night emails from CNS Career Center. So every Thursday during the school year, I believe there's actually one going out tomorrow as well. We feature certain internships and full-time positions from Handshake. And these are a great opportunity to look at things. We try to get something for every major if possible. So just take a look at these. It is just a small subset of everything that's in Handshake, but it's a great idea to take a look at this. It comes out every Thursday night. We try to get it around 8 o'clock if possible, but take a look at these internships that are featured there. Okay, other places to look for internships. I'm going to talk in a few minutes about our database of completed CNS internships and research, but this is a way to see what your fellow students have done over the past couple of years. The Hours office is a great opportunity. That's the website right there. This is on I think it's the 10th floor of the library, but they also have Zoom appointments. This is a way to get field experience and research opportunities, both on and off campus. So they have, if you're a biology major, hopefully you know about the biology undergraduate assistantships that are, I think the deadline is closing in 2 days for second semester, but it doesn't mean you're not limited to do research or field experience within your major. So we've had students who are biology majors that go to the Hours office and get a research lab position in kinesiology, for example, working with zebrafish. So this gives you opportunities and exposure to labs and research opportunities that are all over campus. Mass Life Sciences Center is a great way to get an internship. You can do this whether you are a current student or up to 6 months after graduation, I believe. These are all paid internships at life sciences companies within Massachusetts. And what you do is you submit your resume to their database with a kind of a generic cover letter, and companies can go through that database and then they will contact students that they're interested in interviewing. This is a little bit more of a challenge when you're writing a cover letter because, as you may know, when you write a cover letter, you tailor it to each individual position, and you can't do that with this one because it's general, but we can work with you to help you work on that cover letter and make sure your resume is up to par with that. And the research, the REUs, or research experiences for undergraduates, are a great opportunity especially for summer research across the United States. So take a look at that website. Also, many of the departments have their own page. So for example, if you're a math major, Caitlin, one of the academic advisors, has sent out information about REUs that are available to our students. So great opportunity to look for internships there. Now Handshake. So hopefully you've all used Handshake as you've probably registered for this workshop. So when you go into Handshake, the key part with using Handshake for internships is using those filters. So what you want to do is go up to jobs, and then you're going to sort by those filters up on the top right. For example, sort by internship. There's a question in the chat. There's a question if you're not a CNS major, but with like the Thursday night emails. I'm not sure, Peter, we can talk afterwards. I believe that they are automatically sent to everyone within Handshake as a CNS major, but if you want to send me an email afterwards, we can chat about that. So what you want to do is sort. You can put a title in there. So if you are a math major, for example, I just stuck math in here. You can narrow down by filters by your year, by location, if you want to be within 20 miles of Boston, for example. The nice thing with Handshake too is everything in Handshake is specifically meant for current students or alums who are within 3 years of graduation, meaning that you know it's appropriate for your level of education and for your experience. There may be some qualifications or restrictions. For example, it may say you have to be a senior or you have to have 2 years of lab experience, but overall, almost everything will be applicable to most students. So you can sort by your major. You can see this little flag here too. If you save a job, you can then, or job or internship, then you can go up on the top left under saved and you will be able to see it the next time. A nice thing with saving positions that interest you too is that Handshake, the next time you log in, Handshake will start to understand what you're looking for and will show you on the main page jobs it thinks you're going to be interested in. It's just like social media, where if you like a post on Instagram, you're most likely going to be shown more things like that next time. So it's a really great way to save your search and also to save some positions you're interested in. One thing about Handshake though, is obviously it's great because everything is meant for current students. The downside of that is that employers have to bring things specifically to us. We cannot go out and search things. Every employer specifically says we're looking and we're interested in hiring UMass students. They can put it at multiple colleges. It's not just UMass. However, that means that if they don't have the staffing or they don't know about Handshake or they don't have the time to put it in Handshake, it won't make it into Handshake. So you don't want to limit yourself just to Handshake. And like I said, it's an awesome way to search for internships that are specifically interested in UMass students, but you also want to search outside websites. And that is where things like Indeed.com come through, or even Google Jobs and LinkedIn. So for example, with Indeed, if you go to Indeed.com, keep in mind, these are not vetted like Handshake jobs are. So you will see things that are all over the place. But again, use those filters. Put what you're interested in. This one, I just typed in research in Marlborough, Mass, and things you'll start to see that come up. With Indeed, for some reason on their main page, they do not allow you to narrow between internships and full-time positions. So once you do a search, you then need to go into advanced job search, which is circled up on the top. And then once you scroll down to the bottom of the advanced search, that's when you can narrow down by internship. Now, because Indeed is also not geared specifically towards students, it's geared towards all job seekers, you will have to filter down a little bit more to find something that is an internship. You may also want to put the word summer in there if you're looking for something for summer, because some companies, well, not specifically, because again, they may not, this is only in the advanced search, they may not specifically choose internship. They may just put temporary or regular job. So you can also search for summer positions. It does not actually have to have the word internship in the title to be a valuable experience for you. So just keep that in mind. But the nice thing with Indeed is because their algorithm will pick up from the larger companies, they can pull it directly from those companies' websites. So you will get more of those companies, and a lot of small organizations or small businesses that don't know about Handshake will pay to have their positions put up in Indeed. So you will get a more variety of positions, but again, it's a little bit harder to filter through to find things appropriate for summer internships when compared to Handshake. Another great place to search is in our completed internship and research database. So for those of you who have been here for a couple of years, you may notice that every fall we send out emails, and I know you get a ton of emails, but every fall we send out emails that say, tell us what you did this summer, here's our internship database, here's our research, let us know what you did this summer, you could win Antonio's gift cards or be featured on our Instagram page. But this is where that information goes. So from our website, you want to go to job, internship, and co-op searching again, and then click on the database of completed research and internships. And these are positions that your fellow students have done over the past few years. Now, admittedly, we don't have a lot from 2020 or 2021, again, because of COVID. We're starting to get a lot of traction in 2018 and 2019. But this is great because you can sort by major, you can sort by keyword search if you know you want to be in biotech, or you know you want to be pharmaceuticals, or you're a psychology major and you're interested in behavior analysis. So this is a great way to be able to search through what your fellow students have done. It's also a great way to network because you can also contact some of these students, and I'll show you that in a second. Once you go to this main page of CNS student internships, you can, like I mentioned, sort by major. Here, I just typed in the word computational. And you can see students where it says major, this is not required major. This is the major of the student who did this internship previously. So for example, it does not mean it's limited to B&B majors. It just means the person who did this internship in 2020 happened to be a B&B major. So if you click on that listing, that will then open up to a lot of really great info about that this is all entered by that student. So you can see here from the top, the student was a 2021 B&B major. They said exactly where they did it. So they did this here in Isles at the core facilities. It was a summer paid internship. They did not get credit for it. And also how they found it was through our Career Center. Over on the right, you can see some of these have a lot of really great detail. Others just have a little bit because it all depends on what the student entered. It says what they did, what they enjoyed about it, and then what the challenges were. And I really like that we include the challenges because I think sometimes there are things that are just kind of a small annoyance to someone, but for someone else, it can be a real deal breaker. So it really gives you an idea of the good and the bad for each thing. But the really cool part about this, as you can see circled down below, is that if you log in with your UMass ID, most of the students who've entered their database, their data here, have said they are willing to share their information with other students, meaning that if you log in, you will then see the student's email address at the bottom. And you can then reach out to the student and say, hey, I am a junior B&B major. I'm really interested in what you did at Isles last summer. Any chance we can grab a cup of coffee at Blue Wall, or I can text you and ask some questions about it. It's a great way to learn about the variety of internships that are out there, as well as possibly get a connection to something, especially if it's in your hometown, if it's something you hadn't heard of before, that student may be able to give you some information about contacting someone or how to apply, some kind of tips and tricks. I will also say, however, that if it is someone who's graduated already, so someone who graduated in 2018 or 2019, for example, it's only going to give you their UMass email address, which is no longer going to be valid. So it may not be as effective for you to network, but it will still let you know that we had a student who interned at that location in the past. And if a company hires a UMass student one summer, 9 times out of 10, they will hire students again because they know that you have solid academics, that you are hard workers, you're reliable, responsible. So keep that in mind too. That doesn't mean just because you can't reach out to that person that it's not worthwhile. It can still be up to you to try and research and find a contact yourself, or just go to their website and see if that's somewhere that you can apply. When you do go ahead to apply too, or if you are reaching out to someone at that company, show your connection or interest in the organization. Let them know why you're interested. So if you find, for example, you wanted to work at youth villages, for example, but the student who worked there previously is no longer there. See if you can find a contact at youth villages. Find someone on LinkedIn, find someone in HR, and let them know, I know previous students have interned at youth villages. I'm extremely interested. I believe in the work that you do. Do a little research on the company through their website. And when you are reaching out to them, make sure you show that connection. So a couple other places to look for internships or research. Check your department's website. We have so many different departments at UMass that we don't have a really consistent format of this, but there's a lot of really good information out there. So for example, if you are a B&B major, or even if you're not a B&B major, they have a great sample template of an email on their website if you're interested in doing research. And this can be both research at UMass, as well as if you have a college university in your hometown that you think you might be able to do summer research there, feel free to reach out to them. Look in their website of that university or college, reach out to the faculty members. And this is a great way the sample email, you want to personalize it to yourself, but it's a great way to do some outreach to figure out how to see if you can get an opportunity in a research lab. Another example is the psychology department. So if you go to their department website under undergraduate, and then over on the left, click on internships, you can see they give you a sample list of internship possibilities where previous students have gone. This is, again, a great way they sort it by if you're interested in working with older adults, younger adults, substance abuse, education areas. So there's a lot of great information on your department website. The psychology department also, if you see where I circled on the left, they also put any opportunities for research assistant, teaching assistants, and independent study work as well. One more example is the biology department, BUA, which is the biology undergraduate assistantships. Biology condenses theirs into one specific spot every semester. And this is a great opportunity because all of the biology faculty, and you do not have to be a biology major, this is open to all CNS majors, they put all of their open projects on their website. It's just, I think it's bua.umass.edu biology. Actually, I don't have it up there. Just Google BUA UMass Biology and you'll find it, or just go to the biology website. And what they do is they put all open teaching assistantships, research assistants, paid and unpaid lab positions. And what you apply, similarly to the Mass Life Sciences Center I talked about earlier, you submit one resume and you apply to up to 3 different projects. So some of them are really competitive, some are less competitive, but this deadline does end Friday, January 14th, if you're interested in having a position in the biology department this spring. There is a there's a small possibility that there are still things open after that date, but you would most likely either need to go directly to the faculty members or go through the hours office. So I really encourage you, if you're interested, to take a look at what the biology department has this spring for experiences. You can also just look at other major specific websites in this career development handbook that I know it's blurred, that I mentioned before, that is also on our website. We have a sample list of job boards for every major. We also have this on our website. If you go to career advising and then career resources for every major, we have a specific page for every major within CNS with a number of internship and job boards. So again, if you go to our website, it's under career advising, and then career resources for every major. Actually, I'm sorry, it's under job and internship searching and then career resources for every major. Okay, also really important thing to do, track those applications. As you start to apply for internships, it's going to be really easy to forget what you applied for, what the deadlines are, when you submitted your application, and where you would go to follow up on that application. You may think it's going to be something you'll remember, but then by the time you submit 5, 6, even 10 applications, it's going to start blurring. And this can also be really important if you are interested in if you want to follow up later, if you haven't heard back. Especially with everyone, I'm sure you've all heard about companies being short-staffed, about people, people are still working hybrid in some cases, or depending on COVID levels, bouncing back between in-person and remote. So if you submit an application and don't hear anything back after a few weeks or a month or two, and the deadline has already closed, it is absolutely acceptable and even encouraged to follow up. You don't want to put pressure on them and say, I need to know if I'm getting an interview, but you can just reach out and say, hi, I applied to your environmental field technician position on September 1st. I'm very interested in the possibility of working for you, and I'm wondering if you have an update on where you are in the application process or in the interview process. So you're not putting pressure on them. They may not even have a chance to look at your resume, but it's letting them know that you are still very interested in that internship. And it also may cause them to go to their pile of resumes and pull yours to give you a second look or even a first look if they haven't gotten to it yet. So definitely important to track those applications. There's a question about, is there a recommended number of internships to apply for? There really isn't. I mean, we encourage you to, to use the word cast a wide net. So don't apply to just 1 or 2 internships and cross your fingers, because unfortunately, you may get a call the next day. So you may be a great applicant, or you may still be a great candidate, but if they have 50 applicants, or they suddenly someone gets sick, or someone has 14 other job responsibilities, they may not get to it for a few weeks, in which case, you're going to be sitting there waiting and missing deadlines for other internships. So I would say do what feels good. And I know that's a frustrating term because you really want a real answer. I would say apply safely to 5 or 10, but I have students who apply to 20. And I also have students who apply to 2 and get internships. So really what I would say is take some time to go through, see what's available, bookmark them and see what interests you, and then prioritize those internships by 2 things. One, by the date that the deadlines are, because you don't want to miss deadlines, and also by how interested you are in them. So if you have 10 internships and you're really interested in 3 of those and you're not really sure about the other 7, work on those 3 first. Work on your resume, write a good cover letter, come in to see us if you want a resume or cover letter review. We're happy to take a look at that and let you know if we think it's solid or if you can strengthen it even more. And then just kind of work with that. If you set a little bit of time aside, once classes start too, you're probably going to have less time to do it. So if you can start doing something over the next 2 weeks, obviously more internships will come out in the spring. So not all the summer internships are out yet. But really start prioritizing getting your resume ready. Start maybe doing 1 or 2 cover letters so you know the process of how to write one. And you'll have a better idea then as you start to write them of what your time is and how many you want to apply for. Again, every situation is different too. So you're always welcome to make an appointment with us and we can talk about your individual internship search process and how competitive your field and or the companies you're applying to are. Let's see another question. Okay, welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so what is on your internship to-do list for now? So a couple things that you can do. First of all, I just mentioned this, prepare your resume, learn how to write a cover letter. Sometimes cover letters are not required. They may just say send a resume, and that's totally fine. If you have the opportunity to write a cover letter and you have the time to do one and put some work into it, we always recommend writing a cover letter. A cover letter is your opportunity to take your resume, which are your qualifications and your previous experience, and that job description, which tells you what they want and what they're looking for, and bring them together. So think of your cover letter as a bridge between the two. So it's your chance to tell your story and say, I know you're looking for someone who has great time management skills, great lab skills, and this is how I have those time management skills. I demonstrated that while I did X, Y, and Z. And I learned great research skills in my organic chemistry class when I did 2 independent projects as ABC. So your cover letter is just that opportunity for you to do that work and to really do that to bridge between that. So, but you do also have to personalize each cover letter to each position. It does take a little extra time, but personalizing your cover letter makes it much, much more likely that you will get an interview and get some face time in front of that employer. We encourage you to start early. There are, depending on the field and the major, everyone's a little bit different, but many summer internships are out and posted now. Some of them, depending if you're looking to get into research or into the medical field, some of those even close in mid to late January or early February. If you are in a field such as psychology, those go a little bit late. A lot of the nonprofit fields don't hire summer interns until February or March. In fact, we don't even have our we don't have our spring psychology career fair till April. And that has a lot of companies that are going to be hiring both graduating seniors as well as summer interns. So depending on your field, again, start early. If there are internships available, don't wait till the deadline. Some of them, even though they may not have a deadline till March 31st, they may have rolling applications. So just like when you applied to UMass, so some of them will wait to give you a decision till the very end. Others will allow people in as they find them or interview them. And if they have great candidates in January, they will not wait till that March deadline. They will hire people and as interns as they find them. So again, it's different by every company. It's really hard to predict, but start early if you have that opportunity. Okay, I mentioned earlier the Mass Life Sciences Center. This is a great opportunity. We have, I don't think it's on our website yet, but we're hopefully adding it. Mass Life Sciences Center came and did a presentation last year about what they're looking for and more information about their summer internships, and we recorded that. So if you are interested in applying to that, send me an email and I can send you the Mass Life Sciences Center video and their PowerPoint of what they did, of what, when they came on campus on Zoom, to what they're looking for interns for the summer, but it is a great opportunity. Another opportunity that just opened is the IELTS undergraduate core summer internship program. Priority deadline is February 4th, which is only a few weeks away, but they start at, I think, also $17 an hour. It's 10 weeks paid research here on campus. If you are a current freshman, sophomore, and junior, it is a fantastic opportunity. And they hire a large number of our students from engineering, computer science, college of natural sciences, other majors. Career fairs, this also came up earlier. We have lots of career fairs coming up this spring, a mix of virtual and in person. I'm trying to see here. We also have do not limit yourself to your major, basically. So if you are BCT, you can go to the Building and Construction Technology. You can go to the BCT Career Fair. You may also find something at the Engineering Career Fair. If you are pre-med, you may want to go to the Psychology Fair because we generally have UMass Medical School admissions there. Not every year. We don't know what we're going to have this spring, but they have come the last 2 or 3 career fairs. So keep in mind the Public Health Fair may have something for you, even if you're a biology major. Take a look on Handshake if you go up to events and then sort by fairs. Some of these are just getting started. For example, we have not even opened the Psychology Fair, so we don't have any employers there yet. But we generally will have a lot of great employers that are there to hire for both internships and full-time positions. And they will tell you if they're hiring for interns or full-time positions. You'll see if you look down near the bottom, we just got and found out yesterday, we're doing an internships fair at Mount Ida on March 16th for those of you who live in the Boston area. And it is going to have companies that are in the Boston area that are looking for summer interns. So keep in mind, we'll have more information on that on Handshake. And if you go to that career fair and bookmark it, you will be notified as new employers come through. Great opportunity. We will also have workshops this spring, both in person and Zoom, I believe, on how to go to a career fair, how to talk to employers. In a very simplified form, if you went to college fairs in high school where you go to, if you were in the gym and everyone had a table and you got to hear about different colleges, obviously pre-COVID, that is what an in-person career fair is like. Employers set up tables, they come and have information for you. Sometimes they give out free pens or notebooks or something, but in general, it's a great opportunity to hear about different companies and their opportunities. Virtual career fairs will be on Handshake this year, meaning they're very similar to Zoom, where you can meet one-on-one, kind of like going into Zoom breakout rooms. You can meet one-on-one with an employer to talk about opportunities, or there may be groups info sessions too, where you can just sit and hear about what they have, what opportunities they have. Okay, quick reminder, we have more January Career Workshop series coming up. You are welcome to attend them no matter what year you are. There is another internship hunting workshop next Tuesday at noon. You are welcome to attend. A lot of the information will be similar as you're hearing here, but it will also be a different career advisor. So it could also be a different perspective if you're looking for that. I will be talking about networking and interviewing next week. And Janet Boardwin, our director, will be talking about networking and making connections and cover letters for seniors over the next week. I mentioned this career development handbook. It is a great thing to do to find some resources for internship searching. I am going, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. I will be sending out the slides either later today or tomorrow morning to everyone who was on this meeting. So if you have any questions too, feel free to just respond to that email. But I will hang out here for like the next 15 minutes or so if you have any questions about your own internship search or internship searching in general. And thank you for coming. So any questions, let me know.